good afternoon, or good evening, or possibly good morning. This is a video, so you can choose when you want to watch it. Before we get started properly, I just wanted to say a big thank you to Inspire and all the volunteers and amazing people that are involved with the charity for employing me in the past, back when I hadn't really juggled for anyone else, and also for getting in touch with me just now. There's a lot going on in the world, and I've not been able to do a lot of juggling recently, but it's an absolute pleasure to be out here in my back garden, or possibly at a hill next to my house. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do a little bit of juggling for you today. I thought I'd start first by rolling up my sleeves to show there's no funny business. I promise there will be no camera tricks, trapdoors, or hidden assistants planted in the audience. Speaking of audience, most of you are probably quite far away, so I'll try and speak quite loud, because I'm in Livingston and I know that many of you will be in Aberdeen or around Scotland. So, back when I was 5, I started to learn to juggle. Right at the start, I could only do one ball. I used to take it like this. I'd go under one leg, under the other leg, and round the back into the hat. Now, at this point, I would usually say, and no one clapped, because no one did clap. But today there's no audience, so you may or may not have clapped. So if you clapped, the joke didn't work. If you didn't clap, you can now laugh, and I would really appreciate that. But once doing one ball, I moved on to 2. Now I know what you're thinking. How many ways are there to juggle 2 balls? I'll give you a hint. That's right, it's free. There are 3 ways to juggle 2 balls. Number 1, side by side, that's real traditional. And number 2, a little fancier, we'll watch the pink one go over, and then the other one follow. We can also change the direction on that. Or number 3, that's one ball going over and 1 ball going back, or as I like to call it, the painful accident. And that finishes the same way with 1 ball in the hat. But I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, hey Matthew, you're a so-called professional juggler, if there is such a thing, and I'm pretty sure I know people that can juggle 3 balls. Okay, it's a little harsh, but I'll see what I can do for you. We'll take the 3rd ball. Now I know what you're thinking, Matthew, how many times harder than 2 balls is it to do 3? 5. Don't worry about the maths, I've got that covered. Now 3 balls looks a little something like this. Now the first trick I'm going to show you is quite hard. It's actually called juggling. It took me about 6 months to learn. Now the second trick is going to work really well if you put on your complimentary 3D glasses. I'll just give you a second to get those. Oh sorry, hold on, what's that? No, I'm just getting a message saying you guys didn't receive your complimentary 3D glasses. That's okay, I'll try the trick anyway. The illusion of juggling in 3 dimensions. Here we go. Ha! 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 Yeah, okay. Works a little better if you're here. No idea if that works on a camera, we'll find out later. Okay, now for the purposes of the trick, we're going to follow the orange ball. Watch the orange ball. Okay, I'll just put it back in. Okay, watch that orange ball. First of all, the orange ball goes over the top. Wow. Thank you very much. Next, the orange ball goes back the other way and back across. But I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, hey, Matthew, do a trick that's hard. Okay, for you, disembodied voice in my head, here comes a trick that's hard. Orange ball goes under the left leg. Wow. Orange ball goes under the right leg with the right hand. Wow. Orange ball under the left leg with the right hand. And of course, to finish it off, the left leg with the right hand. And finally, neither leg with neither hand. Thank you very much. But I know what you're thinking, a few fancy tricks. Number 1, we'll do the factory. Watch as all the balls go round in a little rotation. We can make things up a little bit crazier, go into Mill's mess, looks a little something like this. And then of course for the big finish, as I started at the beginning, 1 ball in the hat. But I know what you're thinking, hey, 3 balls is great, but you know what would be better? More balls, which is why I've got this. I will of course have to put those down to use it. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, pulling your leg from halfway across the country. 4 balls. Now 4-ball juggling is something a little harder. Many of you won't have seen me do 4 balls before, but this quarantine, if one thing it has given me, is time to practice. Not that much though, so if I drop them, you're still not allowed to make fun of me. If you're following along at home and you see anything you like, you can clap. Maybe someone clapped then, I have no idea. Watch this, here we go. Here we go. A little bit of 4-ball juggling would look a little something like this. Now, I know what you're thinking, wow, that juggler guy's pretty good, he's peaked so early, and I have no idea what he can do next. Well, for you today, I am of course out in nature, so I'll use some props that I have found out in nature, and oh my god, oh, it's that delicacy, it's the Livingston apple. Oh, Just give it a little wipe for safety reasons, of course. Now, apple, not designed to be juggled, natural. Balls came from a juggling shop, okay? Just so you can see the difference. Apple, balls, okay? Watch the apple. That's this one, okay? No tricks. Now, all I have to do for this trick, it's nice and easy. I just have to take a bite off the apple. It's a little hard actually because I'm juggling. I should have thought. Okay, actually, before I take a bite, I'm just going to take a lick of the apple. Okay, here we go. I got it. I don't know if you can see that. Here we go. Don't worry, only one person per apple. No risk of transmission. Watch closely. Here we go. Right, a big bite of the apple to finish the trick. Hold on. Here we go. Okay, big bite. Okay, I actually got the orange there. That's a small fruit joke for you. Okay, here we go. Okay, bite of the apple. That's one bite. I think you need 5 a day. But I'll probably call it there. Okay. Just give me 1 second. I'm just going to dispose of this apple. Yep, that's that dealt with in a very good manner. Now, moving on briefly. Once I learned to juggle balls, I learned to juggle clubs. Clubs are, of course, more dangerous than balls. More dangerous because they're much easier to drop. Now, juggling clubs obviously takes a little bit more skill. Each club has to rotate once so that you can catch the handle. If it rotated further and you catch the wrong end, nothing wrong with that just now. We're going to come to some more dangerous stuff later on. I'm going to keep the club tricks quite brief, but there are a few club tricks I quite like. So, I've been out a lot in nature just now. And I don't know if you can hear it from where we are. There was actually a river just behind the camera that I like to go and sit by just now. And in that river there are some beautiful jumping salmon. And I'm going to try and do my impersonation of one here. I'm not going to impersonate it, the clubs are. If you're wondering which club to watch, just follow the green one for all these tricks. Here we go. And oh my god, there it is. Wow. A single beautiful salmon jumping for... Oh, hold on. I can smell more coming, very fishy. I think it's a whole family of salmon. Oh, wow. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh my god, that one's dead. No, don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, I am a trained fishmonger. Watch closely, here we go. Another club trick to make up for that little drop. We're going to try and send one club all the way over the top in a beautiful little wave to you guys. Here it comes. Oh, there we go. Big shout out to Christopher in particular. This is one of the tricks that I don't do in Inspire ever since I put that axe into your roof. Big finish now, here we go. We'll do a few clubs under the legs, a little something like this. We go one club under there, one club under there, and of course, the big finish. Now, I know what you're thinking. Hey Matthew, you've done balls, you've done clubs, but what about juggling rings? Well, it's okay, viewers at home. Today I have a set of juggling rings. Now, this may or may not work because famously, rings are very difficult to juggle outside, which is why I usually juggle the rings inside at Inspire. But those of you guys that have seen me do that before, here we go, a little bit of ring juggling. Now, hopefully you guys can see there are 2 pink rings moving in the air. And you might have noticed an illusion there where it looked like one of the other ones fell down. And watch, just magically, it rejoins. Oh my god! And it might look a little bit like it's red and pink now. But don't worry, no, okay. I'm just messing around. Watch close, here we go. Proper trick with the rings, look a little something like this. Watch as the pink rings transform, as if by magic, into white rings. That's just a little bit of nonsense. These rings are my warm-up for my finale of the basic tricks. What we're going to do here involves this. What's in here is incredibly dangerous. I have not 1, not 2, but 3 eggs. Now, to those of you that have never handled an egg before, when uncooked, if dropped, they do explode. So children, please, boil your eggs before you juggle them with the assistance of an adult. To prove that these eggs are real, once I have juggled them, I will smash one off of one of these rocks in a vile act of littering that could cost me my career in the future. So if you're watching this in like 2040, when I'm running for juggling Prime Minister, I'm sorry in advance. Here we go, 3 eggs. I probably should have worn an apron or something, but that's fine, here we go. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, juggling the 3 eggs. Coming up, a few quick tricks with the eggs. I'm going to try and grab an egg and move it straight through the middle of the pattern, a little something like this. Hua. Hua, 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 hua. And ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you can see that that right there is a real egg. One burst in my hand. This one refuses to. There we go. And this concludes part 1 of the juggling video. Part 2 to follow for you instantly, for me in a few minutes. Well, the more observant of you may have noticed a small set design change, although we have remained in the same location because it is actually minutes from the first video. What we've got here is some of the more dangerous equipment which I can juggle. Before we get to that, as a little sort of palate cleanser, we're going to do a few very simple hat tricks. Trick number 1, hat to head. Here we go. Watch closely. 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. Oh, okay. I feel like possibly a few people watching could have been disappointed by that. What we'll do this time is hat to head, just like this, up onto my head. Now, I usually get this within the first 1 to 3 hours of practicing, so we might have to speed this up, hopefully. Watch this, here we go, watch. First time, here we go. 1, 2, 3, hop! Thank you very much, but I know what you're thinking, hey Matthew, that's alright, but I've tried to put a hat on like that before. It would be more impressive if you could do it from your foot. Well, that's impossible. Alright, that would take minutes to months of practice, and I'm very lazy. But for you today, I'll try it. I have no idea if I can do it, but we'll just see. Here we go, watch. From the head to the foot, from the foot to the head. Watch this, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. Now that our palate is suitably cleansed, we can get on to something a little bit more interesting. Now, usually at this point in the show, I have to say to everyone that there are 3 safety rules. Now, there are still going to be some safety rules, but they're not the 3 that many of you will be familiar with. For one, you can get as close to the device you are watching this on as you like, because you will still be far enough away from these. So please, even if you're watching it with someone else, feel free just to move right up to the screen. Why not? You won't get another chance to. What I'm going to do is I'm going to juggle these 3 knives. Now, the most commonly asked question that I get is, Matthew, how do you keep your skin so smooth? Well, I exfoliate. The second most common question is, Matthew, are the knives actually sharp? I have here another apple, luckily found in nature. What I'm going to try and do is to throw the apple and hit it with the knife, probably with the sharp end. To thus prove the blade is sharp. I'll then try and I'll take the first little bit off just like this. Children, please don't try this at home. Use your mouth, it's much easier. Watch this, here we go. Proving the knives are a little bit sharp. Watch this, here we go. 1, 2, hop. A little bit off there. A little bit off there. I missed. Here we go, we'll try this again. If not, we'll be cutting here. Watch this. That's the second. Don't worry, 3rd time's the charm. Did say the knives were sharp, but that I'm not that bright. Here we go. Here we go. Usually at this point in the show, I get someone to throw it to me. Here we go, watch. Up. And lovely, you can see there, a nice, clean-shaven piece in. We'll keep that error in, just as a little lovely blooper for you. That's free of charge. Watch this. Here we go. Start off with the 3 knives. I'm going to do some juggling. Now, I have my brother here, actually, helping me film today. He's behind the camera. Say hello. Hello. Don't know if you could hear that. Samuel, if you see the blades coming towards you, he's laughing at me, is what's happening. That's what's making me laugh. If you see a blade coming at you, a little something like this, you need to move, and also please do move the camera. People at home, don't you panic. They can't pass through the screens. Here we go. A little bit of knife juggling for you guys today. Usually, at this point in my show, I would make a joke where I would be like, oh, it's a bit windy in here, but it actually is a bit windy out here, so I will be trying my very best to juggle for you. Okay, here we go. On the count of 3, I don't know if you're going to count with me. And we'll pause there. Welcome back. In light of the unprecedented recent events of the small furry creature, we have decided to improve our safety facilities before continuing to record. Now that big dramatic build is done, we're going to do exactly the same thing, hopefully not get a second dog. On the count of 3, feel free to count along at home. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Now, Juggling the knives is obviously more dangerous than juggling the clubs. As aforementioned, if I catch the wrong end at this point, I'm at risk of slicing my hand open, which is not something I want to do, much less live on camera for other people to watch. I guess I'm live just now. I won't be live when you're watching me. I hopefully will be alive as long as there are no juggling injuries. Now, the first trick of the clubs is nice and simple. We're going to try and send one of those knives up into the air for a double spin. I'm going to turn myself to the side to get a good view of it. Watch this, on the count of 3. Here we go, double spin. 1, 2, 3. Now remember what that looks like, because that's going to be important at the end of this segment. Now, the next trick I'm going to do is one of the most dangerous tricks that I can do. That is one knife under the leg, risking the lives of future generations. Watch closely. Here we go. One knife under the leg. 1, 2, alley up. 3. Now I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, hey Matthew, those tricks are good, but what's a trick we would never see when you perform at Inspire? This next trick is called columns. Now I know what you're thinking. Matthew, that sounds dangerous. That sounds alluring. But what is columns? Well, for one thing, it's the hardest trick that I can do. So in theory, here's what's going to happen. You'll see one knife go up the middle like that, and at the same time, 2 other knives going like this. This is the hardest and most dangerous trick that I can do, and I don't usually do it when I'm performing live because I do get quite nervous that I'm going to mess it up. And also, there's the issue of ceilings, but luckily out here, the sky's the limit, and also the trees above me. So watch closely. Here comes columns. In theory, one knife up the middle, 2 knives up the side. Watch closely. Here we go. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the grand finale. Before I get into it, I will say that although safety is important, fashion is slightly more important to me, so I will go back to looking how I normally do. Before I move on, I do just want to say my name is Matthew Kerr. I am a university student at Aberdeen University, and I love doing this, and I just like to say thank you once more to you guys for watching this show, and anyone that's seen me before. I really appreciate getting to get out and do what I love to do. If you're looking to find me on my social medias, they will be available at the end of this. I'd really appreciate a like on my Facebook page or a follow on my Instagram. Keeps my vanity fresh, keeps me looking young. Moving on to the finale, it is important to say that my name is The Gentleman, and my finale is what is known as Gentleman Juggling. Although that is coincidence, it's a nice one. So what I have behind me are an array of objects, 5 of which are more interesting than the others. Those are, in no particular order, this sickle, the saw blade on a stick, my hatchet, the arrowhead, and my personal favourite, the industrial meat cleaver. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to juggle a few different combinations of these objects. Usually I would have people in the audience choose the ones which I do, that way people know that it is random. Because I can't do that today, I'm going to do a few different little fun combinations, and then what is my most commonly requested set of items. Before I continue, if anyone's ever seen me perform before, you've probably got to hold some of these at the end. What you will know, which you can tell people around you if you're watching it with them, is that these objects all weigh different amounts. In particular, the sickle weighs about 4 times less than the saw blade. And when all this is done and I'm back in Aberdeen, it will be my absolute pleasure to come round and let you guys have a little hold of them. But before I get started, a little warm-up trick. Warm-up trick number 1, I'm going to use these 2 knives that we used earlier and this arrowhead. The difference being I have 2 objects that are the same and one that is different, making it slightly harder to juggle. Now, what I'm warming up for is this. Starting to juggle, relatively easy. Stopping, much harder. To stop juggling, what I'm going to do is throw one of the objects up into the air. It will spin twice, and I will try and catch it. Here we go, like this, hop, hop. Just like that. Not that difficult with a 2-in-1 combination. To make things harder, but at the same time slightly less dangerous, I'll do one of my favourite combinations, which is a hatchet, a ring, and a ball. Now obviously, in my mind, the hatchet is the most important. If anyone that's watching juggles, they'll know it's the ring that's the hardest, and the ball throws you off because you have to catch it differently from the handle of the axe. So watch this. Here we go. Actually, I've said I'm going to do that. I've lied. What I'm going to do to make this even harder is to get rid of this ball and completely ad-libbed. I'm going to use this hat. The hat is hard because it is similar to a ring, but as those of you that are astute can notice, I can catch a ring on the inside or on the outside, whereas the hat If I try and catch it from one side, I'm only going to get head. So watch closely. Here we go. Second to last trick, penultimate trick. Watch this. Ladies and gentlemen, 1, 2, 3. Now I know what you're thinking. Hey Matthew, that's pretty dangerous, but which one are you going to go with for the finish? Watch that hatchet. Here we go. A little something like that. But I know what you're here to see. You're here to see the finale. You want to see the most dangerous thing that I can do with objects that weigh different amounts. Well, here you are. Ladies and gentlemen, the most requested set of objects that I ever get are the saw blade on a stick, the sickle, and the meat cleaver. The meat cleaver, my favourite to juggle, but one of the more dangerous ones. The sickle, my absolute least favourite to juggle. It has to rotate like this, point towards me. It will not turn properly with the point away. And the saw blade on a stick is the heaviest object that I will juggle. So ladies and gentlemen, here we go for the grand finale! Watch closely. Now, as I mentioned before, I have my assistant behind the camera. Sebastian, do me a favour, say either. And this is unplanned, it may be very clear in Sebastian's response, but we have cleaver, sickle or saw blade. Because I like the cleaver, we'll disregard that. But you can either have sickle or saw blade. Tune in to what everyone is thinking in the future as they're watching this. And which do you fancy? Sickle or saw blade? Nice and loud?
Sickle.
We're gonna go with sickle. I hate you because you know I hate this one. Right, what we're gonna do is I will juggle these objects. The sickle will go high up into the air and I will attempt to catch it. Emphasis on the word attempt. If I don't catch it, Sebastian will call an ambulance, we'll keep the whole thing rolling, we'll keep it in. Watch closely, grand finale. Whew. I'm actually a little nervous, don't know about anyone that's watching. You can probably pause it and go to the toilet if you want, I can't. That's just among my problems. Here we go. On the count of 3. 1. Don't worry, you've not frozen. Oh, I'm just kidding. Can't do these jokes in person, they wouldn't work. Here we go, just want to get one out. A little sort of buffering joke for you there. Who knows, you might even have thrown up a buffering scroll. Watch this, here we go. Watch. 1, 2, 3. Alley-oop. Now, watch as the objects move through the air, each one slightly differently, but primarily watch that sickle. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been my absolute pleasure to perform for you today. I hope you guys are having a great virtual barbecue, and I hope to see you all soon. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Matthew Kerr. They call me the Gentleman. Have a great day.